Good afternoon, everyone. This is your instructor again, Miss Wingfield, and today I have a special guest, Dr. Katherine Conley Wehrmann. She's a faculty member here at Illinois State University School of Social Work, and she's agreed to speak with you all today about her journey and her career in social work. And so I'm excited that she's agreed to speak with us, our class today. So, Dr. Wehrmann, if you share with us your journey into social work.
I'd be happy to do that. I think about this from time to time because I've been in the field for close to 30 years now and in different places. So that's, I guess, one thing I want to say right at the beginning. A degree in social work can take you so many places. But for me, I guess it started really I was kind of like Lucy in Peanuts. She put out that little sign that said 5 cents psychiatric help or whatever the doctor is in. I was kind of that bossy kiddo that, liked to solve problems, always had an answer. I guess the other thing, sort of the roots of this, I didn't like bullies.
Mm,
I didn't. And as I got older, I started paying attention to the fact that I had a favorite aunt and uncle, both of whom were social workers. One
nice.
was a professor, is retired now at University of Illinois. That was my Uncle Paul, and my Aunt Mana was a school social worker. In
Hmm,
fact, she was working on her degree just about the same time I was finishing up my undergraduate degree.
okay.
So they were inspiring to me. They took really good care of me during a time when I needed some care.
Mhm.
And so that's how I got started. And I applied, and I don't have a BSW degree. I went for a master's degree after getting a degree in education. And
Okay.
it's important to know that that is a possibility.
Mhm.
And I'm sure Ms. Wingfield will explain how that would work if you were to ask her. So, anyway, got into it, kind of went in with a policy concentration, ended up doing an internship in hospital social work,
Mm,
which was a great internship. Had an opportunity to do a little extra internship in the administration at the Department of Children and Family Services. But ultimately, my first social work job was with DCFS, Department of Children and Family Services, as a direct service worker in child protection.
mm,
Probably learned more in the time that I did that job than I ever have in almost anything else I've done. You meet all sorts of people, you work with all sorts of systems, with the police department, with the state's attorney's office, you're in court, you're working with healthcare providers, mental health care providers. It's the full package. I often say, and I've heard others say it as well, if you can work in child welfare,
can work
you can
anywhere.
work anywhere. Miss Wingfield knows. It's also, child welfare happens to be really a specialization area that social workers really pioneered. So it really does belong to us, and you can see how systems theory and how all those pieces work together, not just in the life of a family and their system, but how they interact with all these other systems when they're needing some help to, make their family better. So, that was pretty great. A second job I had within the department was the recruitment and training of foster parents.
Mm,
That was incredibly challenging. We went through a major change in terms of my time. We developed a training curriculum model that's still in use in the state of Illinois, and that was way back in the late 80s. And so that piece was done in conjunction with the Child Welfare League of America. And actually, that curriculum is used in many other states and different countries throughout the world. It was really a wonderful project. Um, from there, I ended my time with the department in, I think it was 92. It was a time of change, and you find in state government that reorganizations occur with sort of amazing regularity. And I decided that I didn't really fit with where the reorg was going. So I left the department and I was attracted back to school for a PhD. Now, I'd done some adjunct instructing in various things at the University of Illinois. And one day, the director of the PhD program got me and said, you might want to think about this. And I did, and I got into that program and enjoyed it immensely. And 5 years later, I had my PhD and I was ready to go out and teach. Now, along the way, I did some other things. I facilitated teams at the Army Corps of Engineers. I used all those good social work skills you learn, like active listening, managing a group. I found that my skills were marketable in other areas, and it kind of helped me pay the bills while I was in grad school. Mm-hmm. And so, but once I got my degree, I started thinking about where I would go. And just so happened, there's Illinois State University just down the road. And I started here as an adjunct instructor. I taught policy, and I think I had a field class. And, then when a position was open, I applied and I was fortunate to be hired. So I've been here nearly 20 years now. And being in social work education, in addition to the teaching of an area that you really enjoy talking about and helping students learn about, I've had the opportunity to pursue my interest in our National Association of Social Workers. That is the premier organization representing the profession of social work. It's kind of like the American Medical Association, but this is the Social Workers Association. Mm-hmm. That association has a national board in Washington and an office there. Every state in the country has a chapter that focuses on what's happening with social work in the state. And particular to that has to do with the policies that are being put forward in state government. And we have a lot to say about that. In fact, as social workers, in our code of ethics, which I'm sure you'll be talking about sometime this semester, there is a particular section that addresses a social worker's responsibility to be involved in social and political action. And it just so happens I have this right here. I'll read it to you. Social workers should act to prevent and eliminate domination of, exploitation of, and discrimination against any person, group, or class on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, color, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, age, marital status, political belief, religion, immigration status, or mental or physical disability. Mm-hmm. That's kind of our marching order as social workers. And you think, wow, if I decide to be a social worker, how am I going to do all of this? How am I going to work with my clients and also be a policy advocate? Mm-hmm. Well, that's where your professional organization comes in. Not only does NASW always look to uplift the profession and communicate to policymakers and businesses and governmental bodies about the difference having social workers on your team can make, whether it's a hospital, mental health clinic, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
They also are your voice, NASW is, in influencing policy on behalf of people that don't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And heaven knows there are plenty of those folks. I think
Mm-hmm.
we can look right now to what has happened recently with an executive order banning travel by certain immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And this just will not stand. So we raise up our voice. And if you were to look at the NASW website, you will see the statement that has been put out there. Right now, in the state of Illinois, there are incredible, well, it's sort of a scandal that we don't have a budget. And there are many who are being affected by it. And
Mm-hmm.
those are the people who rely on mental health services, substance treatment, children and families who are in need of child care.
Mm-hmm.
You, again, people with disabilities,
Mm-hmm.
these folks don't know what's going to be in place for them.
Mm-hmm.
And for some, services have already been cut. Agencies have shut their doors because our legislators and our governor cannot get it together. Social workers coming up this March, I believe it, oh no, sorry, early part of April, will be going to Advocacy Day. In fact, the people who really populate Advocacy Day down in Springfield are students, just like you, who go with their social work programs, or, you know, if you're not in social work, I bet you can find a way to go and see how this all looks. We go down, we hear speakers who are telling us, who tell us about what's going on for all these different populations and give us some ideas of what we need to be asking our legislators for. And let me tell you, it's pretty amazing to see what usually is around 900 to 1,000 social work students and their faculty, as well as social workers, march down to the Capitol and go visit their representatives' offices.
Mm-hmm.
It makes an impact. And for what we hope as a school that sends our students, that it ignites a flame. You can't let these things bully us. If
Mm-hmm.
we don't speak up, then we get subpar policies that
Mm-hmm.
actually hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what this profession is about. So for me, I kind of like a moth to the flame. I got involved with NASW on the district level, and then, you know, gosh, I was on the state board,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, from there I became the president of Illinois chapter. You know, continued to do a lot of activities, and then the next thing, you know, I was serving on the national board, and it was quite an experience to be a part of that, to talk to people who were our people in Washington, speaking up for social workers, creating coalitions in Congress to reinvest in social work, to put money towards research, to recruit social workers, money towards loan forgiveness for people who want to get involved in social work. You know, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. Um, you know, people with issues and difficulties aren't going to go away, and they're always going to need people to stand up for them. And that's social NASW stands up for all of us who are in the profession. I guess then after that, I was asked to consider running for president, which I did.
Yay!
And again, surprise, not really, but kind of. I had a pretty good feeling about it, um, but I won that seat. So I've been serving as president elect this past year since July 1st. I'm attending board meetings. I'm learning the, you know, what's going on, and I will come in after current president, Dr. Daryl Wheeler, um, and pick up the reins from there. Um, I will also have a seat at the leadership table for the International Federation of Social Work. That gives me an even bigger view of what's going on in the world because we don't just need social work here. Other countries have different needs. Um, we all learn from one another. So that's something I'm looking forward to. It's going to be a huge adventure. We're in interesting political times,
Mhm.
whether you were in favor of our current president winning or not. For social work, the job now is basically to reintroduce ourselves to the current administration. I've talked at length about our code of ethics, our obligation to do social and political action. I can tell you that our professional organization, as should all of us who participate, we're going to cooperate where we can. We're going to oppose where we must, and we're going to resist whenever necessary. So those are our watchwords. We're not, we're, we're careful about looking at what comes out in terms of executive orders,
Mhm.
legislations, appointments to the or to the cabinet,
Mhm.
and we have a voice and we're speaking up. And I hope you do too, regardless of whether you decide to pursue a career in social work. And trust me, it'll take you a lot of places. Um, but even if you don't decide to do that, remember you need to speak up and be a part of what's going on in terms of government. We're the people, it's our government. We need to speak up.
Thank you so much, Dr. Wehrman. I don't know if you all realize this, but this is a huge feat for us to have the actual president of NASW here at Illinois State University School of Social Work. So take heed to what Dr. Wehrman shared with you. She has echoed much of what I've already shared with you this semester. So until next time, bye.